Oh my God, I just pressed record on my first podcast episode. Hello, my name is Nairobi, and this is the first episode of my podcast, Cosmic Conversations. This is in conjunction with my spiritual account, Chiron, the Wounded Healer. And I've been debating on what I want Cosmic Conversations to be. I mean, it's always been an idea the past, 4 years since COVID, but I haven't had the resources, the opportunity, the motivation, the bandwidth to do it, the trust, the self-trust to do it, to be honest. And I've realized with my own personal insights and my own personal reflections, as well as talking to friends and stuff, that those are the things that matter. Because I don't know what other people need to hear. I'm not tapped that much into my intuition yet, but I feel like I've gained a lot of insight and others have gained a lot of insights from my own personal reflections and insights. So all that to say that for Cosmic Conversations, for a little while, I'll just be talking about my own personal reflections and sharing my insights from the past week. And I feel like that'll just get me talking. Like, I don't know where to start. I feel like I have so much knowledge in my head. And yeah, I don't know. But this is where we're going to start because I do know, right? And I feel like this is definitely, this realization and me even pushing to do this is in light of the full moon in Aries that just happened. The full moon in Aries, Aries is like go, go, go. That initiation, burst, start of energy in the beginning, right? And I'm feeling that obviously with my podcast, right? But in total, with the full moon as well, it's a culmination of emotions and personal insights that I've had, particularly in relationships. I've realized that, and this is a time for releasing old patterns, letting go of past wounds, and really stepping into a more peaceful, aligned way of relating to others and yourself. This energy feels really intense, really intense. I mean, there's a lot of other things going on. Like, lots of things going on. Mars is not in Aries. Mars being in Cancer, right? Like your emotions, like our emotions being tied to it. And the sun being in Libra. Libra is relationships. So, of course, this is just causing us and pushing us to have a redefinition of relationships across the board. Relationships with yourself, other people, with places, things, thoughts, attitudes, all of that. Redefining those and helping us to recognize where we truly belong, right? Because there is something going on with Uranus. Why don't I have the top transits? I thought I did here. Oh, yes. Uranus is in retrograde right now in Taurus, right? Taurus deals with values, redefining our values. And right now it's sextiling the retrograde in Neptune in Pisces. Right. That's a really big transition. You know what I'm saying? Like, Neptune and Pisces gives spiritual insight, right? Karma. Yeah. And Taurus dealing with values and such. And Uranus just challenging stability, right? Uranus shakes it up, shakes up the room because it needs to be shaken up, right? Your stability being shaken up because does it really align with my values? You know what I'm saying? If it falls over, it wasn't attached to a great foundation of your values, right? And there are opening intuitive pathways. I mean, even me talking and having these insights as I'm learning, I'm learning from me as I'm speaking, right? So just that, this is a form of divination. It's time for culmination, for releasing, bringing hidden things to light. I feel like this definitely brought a lot of hidden things to light for me with relationships. Relationships that were not serving me, that that were not aligned to my values, that weren't aligned to my higher self, that I was, in a cycle. And realizing that I was in a cycle realizing is a good step, And then taking initiative to do so for yourself. It came from a place of, I love myself, right? I want better for myself. And with Pluto at the high degrees right now, I believe it's still in retrograde. I think it went direct a while ago, but it's in the high degrees right now of Capricorn. 29th degree, actually, like the critical degree. And Pluto is really about transformation on the deepest level, right? A little anecdote quickly about Pluto. So Pluto was approaching my sun in 2022, and I hadn't realized this. This is all in hindsight, right? My sister passed away December 2022, and I can tell you, and I've been thinking about this a lot, talking about this a lot, I am not the same person I was before she passed at all. Not the same person, right? I don't know who the fuck she was, right? My past self, not my sister, but because Pluto went over my sun. My sun is at 29 Capricorn. Pluto went right over there. And the day she went over, my sister passed, right? So, and yeah. And that caused a deep transformation in me. I remember this one night, me and my other sister were smoking in the car. And something we always did with my other sister. And I was just like, damn, like a weight I just was aware of my reality. Like, I don't know, like, I feel like I just gained consciousness. Like, I was conscious before, but, like, I feel like I was just floating through life, Like, I just came to the realization, I was like, wow, I really need to get my shit together. Like, this is really up to me. Like, I'm saying I want to do all these things and really blah, 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 but, like, was I really doing them? Am I doing them? And given I was 21, I was young, I still am young. I'm 23. But it's like, that was before anything. And that really transformed me. For sure. Different person. I could talk about that later, about my whole transformation. All that to say that Pluto is very valuable, but it's also very destructive. And also there with with Uranus, sextiling Neptune, shaking things up. Like destroying things and dissolving things, letting things fall. Because were they really aligned, And thinking back to why are you even holding on to that thing if it's really not beneficial? Beneficial in the way to your higher self, but not to your ego, Because past relationships I had with things in relationships, like, they was fueling my ego. Like, my ego wanted that comfort, you know what I'm saying? Like, that sense of control. Like, for example, I had an order to say things, but that's obviously not going to be the case. But I'm a student at Duke University, right? And I'm also a spiritual being, right? And after my sister passed, I took 2 years gap, focused on myself. And I really needed that because I really know who I am more, right? So I'm more solidified in that spiritual sense of me. Spiritual as in like wellness, taking care of myself, self-love, that spirit, that sense of spirit, right? Because we are not just our bodies, right? So I was like, I'm going to maintain this throughout school because as a Duke student, the reason why I got into Duke, I'm a workaholic, right? I'm a Capricorn sun. Like, I love to work. I love productivity. Like, crossing things off my to-do list, yes. Like, what do you mean? But I used to do it at the expense of my spirit. And in turn, my physical body, I would stay up late doing work. I wouldn't eat the way things I need to be eating. At the times, I was all the stereotypes of what a stressed college student is. That was me. I thought it was normal. At Duke, everyone's doing it, Everyone was doing it. I was doing it. But I wasn't feeling good. And I wasn't getting the real effects, not real effects, but I wasn't as smart as I thought I was going to be putting all that time in, right? I'm not going to find ways to say things anymore because that's difficult for me. I'm just going to say them how they come, right? But yeah.